favorite moment in the entire. Maybe I should complicate this before I start speaking here. Welcome to Comics League Live, and to start off, I am here with a very special guest, my partner in crime for all of these streams.
I am Phoenix!
Yes, I'm here with Nick from the Phoenix Press. What'd you think of your intro, brother?
I thought it was pretty dope, though I will say the one that started at the front of the show, that was even doper.
I know. I just literally threw that around with on like Final Cut, a bunch of clips, and I was like, oh, okay, this works. This works.
I love it when a clip comes together.
Where's a cigar and like they play the A-Team theme? What's up, what's up, Thoth? What's up, Tevia? We got a good show for you guys today.
I had yesterday, I kind of deserve a good cigar.
Yeah, exactly. I saw on Instagram, you on like Twitter, you were like dominating with the comic sales.
Oh yeah, I was doing a Comic-Con. It was a Friday and Saturday kind of thing. Nothing today, thankfully. Oh dear God, I was exhausted at the end. So I did Monroe Pop Fest, and yeah, I managed to surpass my best sales. These were my best sales ever. Yet I would probably be that. I sold 71 comics.
That's great. That's fantastic.
And at the end of the day, I decided to treat myself. See if I can get this close up against the screen.
Nice. So you're saying you can toss a coin to your Witcher to a Valley of Plenty?
A Valley of Plenty.
That's such an annoying song.
I love it.
What's up, Mask of Shy? And today you may be wondering, what Snyder movie we're talking about? We talked about all of his DC. Well, now we're expanding. We're talking about Sucker Punch, and I actually have a clip for that.
Warner Brothers, the Snyderverse is expanding.
Yep, we're talking Sucker Punch, baby. Which, as I know, so here's the funny part. This is my first time watching this movie, and within 5 seconds, I knew it was a Zack Snyder movie because there's like so much slow motion and like slow motion rain and stuff. But this was the most trippy Zack Snyder movie I think I have ever seen.
The way that I often refer to this movie, this is pure, undistilled, unadulterated Snyder. Like, this is like the purest form of Snyder you can get. It's an original property. He had free reign to do whatever the frick he wanted. This is Snyder at his most. Give me some more of that pure Snyder.
Yes, it's exactly pure Snyder. Kind of
so
like
that. If you like snorting your lines of Snyder, you can't get anything more pure.
Yeah, essentially, it's kind of this is the one movie, by the way, that wasn't represented in that Teen Titans Go episode because like they had his zombie movies, they had his DC movies, but no Sucker Punch. I'm like, oh, come on.
They didn't bring back Emily Browning to voice Baby Doll for like 2 lines. I mean,
well, you could have had like Starfire and Raven redone as Sucker Punch characters.
Oh my God! What I wouldn't give to see Starfire in the Baby Doll outfit. I would pay lots of money.
So, by the way,
excuse me, I need to type up my favorite artist to have them do that commission.
So to make sure I understand what this movie's basically about is that there's this girl that's in an insane asylum because she killed her stepfather. She accidentally killed her sister while attempting to kill her stepfather. Then she ends up in this insane asylum where apparently they teach girls to dance, but really it's the dance is foreplay to what the girls really do, and kind of. And then go ahead.
I kind of need to cut in here. So this is kind of a movie where it's kind of like one of those things where you gotta need to go and realize there are 3 separate realities to this movie. Okay. So there is like the first reality, which is like the actual reality, where she gets sent to a school where basically the therapist tries to have them act out their scenes as a form of therapy. Thing is, Baby Doll constructs a world where she's actually in a brothel.
Okay.
And then there's a third reality, which we'll kind of get to here in a moment. But, you know, that's basically how it is. You kind of need to have that in mind because, you know, because you watch the movie, if you think there's only 2 realities, there will be a discrepancy. We only really see the third reality at the beginning and the end. Most of the movie takes place in the second reality.
Yeah. So anyway, so the other reality is that so when she starts dancing, she all of a sudden like shifts into like into like some kind of World War II steampunky.
It's kind of a different genre. That's kind of the thing that I noticed is each of the flashbacks is actually a different genre.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's steampunk, there's fantasy, there's cyberpunk a little bit. Like the one on the train is kind of a little bit more cyberpunky. The one with its dragon is more fire, and whatnot. So yeah, I'm just kind of helping you parse things. There's a lot to digest with this movie.
Tevia and Lord Thoth agree. So Tevia says, I'm personally not a fan of Sucker Punch. That's just my opinion.
Dark side him.
No, but yeah, I watched it once and a half. Never been one of my faves. It's no Zack Snyder's Justice League. Let me put it that way.
Well,
like it's not as perfect as his other movies.
Here's the thing: Zack Snyder's Justice League is like at the tippy top, and then everything else is just below that. So it's
I enjoyed Army of the Dead more than this. I think. Yeah, of this, let me put it this way: I still like it. Of my favorite Snyder movies, this one's nearer to the bottom, but I still like it. Let me put it this way: I don't have a Snyder movie that I hate. It's just this one's not like in like my top five because all my top five are all the
least.
Yeah, because all the ones I like the most are obviously the DC ones because that's where he really came into his own. But it's kind of funny is that you could definitely see his influence as a music video director because all the action scenes and pretty much most of the movie is basically one huge music video.
You know what I find funny is like people praise Edgar Wright for doing the same exact thing. Like if you look at Baby Driver, it's just a series of music videos.
Yeah,
I mean, granted, it's a little more coherent, and Edgar Wright is probably a little bit of a better filmmaker in some respects. Like I think Edgar Wright does the whole music video movie making kind of a little bit better. But like Zack Snyder's doing roughly the same thing and having a very similar result. But like Zack Snyder gets chastised for while Zack Snyder gets praised. I find that a little stupid.
Oh, so you're telling me that people apply double standards to Zack Snyder? Really, I would never have thought that.
The hypocrisy! Why are they doing this?
I know. Oh my gosh, it's like when people said, "Oh, I'm glad the Batman is so dark, but I'm gonna throw a hissy fit whenever BVS is so dark because BVS is basically a Batman movie." And I'm just gonna
second Warner Brothers.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, we can click that timer for minutes without him playing that clip.
Yeah, exactly. That's done. So then let me ask you this. So essentially, the first reality is her trying to come up with the plan to escape. I mean, the first like trip into reality 2 is essentially her coming up with the plan to escape.
The hyper reality stuff is reality 3. Where it's like the battles, like the dragon, the World War II stuff. Reality 2 is the brothel stuff.
Okay, so she makes her plan to escape. She says, "I need these items." She basically establishes a bunch of side quests, and then she fights giant samurai. Like,
okay, wait. We need to pause here because you kind of hit on a gold mine here.
What
comparisons to video game?
Yeah,
this movie is essentially a video. Honestly, if you told me that Sucker Punch is actually an adaptation of Sucker Punch the video game, I would believe you.
It's like that movie.
This movie is basically a video game adaptation for a video game that doesn't exist.
It's kind of like Edge of Tomorrow, kind of, where there's so many video game tropes in this. I'm like, oh my gosh.
What's funny is Edge of Tomorrow was actually based off a manga. Yeah, Tom Cruise is in a manga adaptation.
Technically he's in a comic book movie already, so there you go.
Yeah.
So, but let me ask you this: as someone that's writing a comic book about samurai, what'd you think of the samurai part in the samurai fight scene?
I thought it was really well done. I'm not gonna lie; I probably took some inspiration from that scene.
Immediately when that scene happens, I'm like, oh, I see where Nick got this.
Because here's the thing I haven't told people about Torrent Samurai. It's been in the mix for a while. I first created Torrent Samurai in 2006, 2007. I was kind of writing the first 5 issues over a quarter. So I was to say that Sucker Punch didn't have effect on me, even if it was subconsciously, would be dishonest.
And I just want to tease something for the end of the stream. I will be announcing something at the end of the stream. That's a personal thing that I've been working on for a while. That let me put it this way. It's something that I've teased, and it's something that Nick has had a hand in, and a few other people. A lot of guests on this live stream have had an effect on it. Just want to let you know.
So while we're talking about comic books, you want to take a quick diversion, talk about mine for a moment?
Let's save that to the end.
Okay, you're the boss of the stream. I'll follow your lead.
But yeah, we will be talking about Screecher because that project is looking better and better the more I get updates on it. Oh my gosh! So now, they basically established these side quests of items she needs to get. It's kind of like they're assembling like the Star Saber from Transformers, or like all these different things to assemble her escape, if you will. So, and by the way, quick thing before we get to I just want to skip ahead for a second. That scene in World War II where it's basically no man's land. I'm getting major Wonder Woman vibes here.
And this came out. You got to realize this came out like okay. I got to look up the dates because I don't think it's quite 10 years, but it's pretty close.
No, but it's pretty close to that. But you know what I'm saying, right? Because when you watch it, it's
Sucker Punch is a 2011 film, and then
Wonder Woman came out 2017, I want to say. What's it, 2018?
I just want to
what?
Okay,
it's like there's a scene where they're charging across no man's land.
2017.
Okay.
So 6 years prior. So yeah, I think you can make the argument that Zack Snyder had Sucker Punch in the back of his head when they were doing that scene.
Yeah, he probably suggested, hey, it'd be kind of cool if you had some women just charging across no man's land with guns.
Because honestly, if you kind of put the scenes side by side, you can tell they come from the same creative basis.
Or at least who was writing Wonder Woman 1 was inspired by that scene in Sucker Punch.
Like the shots, the cinematography, the look of it. They actually do, obviously they're different, but they do actually kind of line up as cut from the same cloth, if you will. Yeah,
and I will say one of the things I actually enjoyed about this movie is that there's plenty of reloads. Now, what do I mean by that? Typically in a Hollywood movie, whenever they have a gun scene, exactly, they have what's called the Infinimag, which means that they have
infinite clip.
Yeah, it's a magazine. I'm not saying clip, but anyway, so they basically have a thing where you pull the trigger and then it just for an hour.
You saw that Die Hard was infamous for
exactly the Expendables.
I swear John McClane found the infinite bullets cheat and he just ran through the whole game with it.
I played Halo like that, but then but they had plenty of scenes where they were reloading. You even had someone in a mech suit, and I'm like, okay, this is turning into Gundam all of a sudden. It's Zack Snyder made an anime video game that's not based on anything movie.
Before we go any farther, I kind of want to call out a cool reference in the movie.
Yeah.
So if you notice, the asylum is called Lennox House. That is a reference to Annie Lennox, the singer for Eurythmics, who did Sweet Dreams, which was the opening song of the movie.
Oh, wow.
By the way, Emily Browning is the one who's singing that version.
Really? The actual main lead actress is singing it. Oh, that's cool.
And honestly, that's actually that's the Sucker Punch version is actually one of my favorite versions, just because it's so dark and mournful and whatnot. It's so great.
Yeah. So there's this whole World War II style battle where they're fighting Nazi zombies, and I'm getting major Call of Duty vibes from this. I'm oh my! But honestly, see, here's the thing. That's what I love about Zack Snyder's movies, and to a certain, he's like Michael Bay in this way. He directs fantastic action scenes. For the love of God, give this guy every action movie because it is amazing. Say what you want about the stories of his movies. He writes gorgeous. All of his movies feature amazing action scenes.
See, the thing is, the best Zack Snyder movies are the ones where you pair him up with a really great writer and a good producer.
Mm-hmm.
You basically give him an amazing story with great visual aid, and you pair him up with a great producer that sometimes Zack Snyder needs to be rated a little bit. Let's be honest here. Sometimes
to a degree, yeah.
To a degree. I'm not saying he's a problematic director, but you let Zack Snyder go crazy. Sometimes he can be a little excessive, but rein him in. Oh, Zack Snyder, you're at an 11. Can we dial down to a 9 maybe? You know, like that. You know, just a little bit. You know,
Lord Throff basically summarizes Sucker Punch. Amazing action and hot chicks.
Also,
True.
there's a lot of up the skirt shots. I don't know if you
Yeah.
know. Like, there's literally like Baby Doll literally does flips where her ass is towards the camera.
Yeah.
Like, literally, Zack Snyder's like, "Hey, look, Emily Browning has a nice ass." And,
Mask of Shy says he has style, but not the cost of substance. His style has substance. Yeah, exactly. And that's boobs. That's part of why I love his movies so much, is because you can tell. Because I like movies where you can immediately identify who made the movie. Because like I said in the very beginning, I'm like, okay, this is a Zack Snyder movie.
Also, while we're talking about hot girls, normally I don't go for like the short pixie haircut, but Jenna Malone makes it work. Maybe that's
she was hilarious in this movie.
Do you now know why I love Jenna Malone?
Yes, I will accept that. And honestly,
like, do you realize why I'm always saying she should be Robin, or she should, like, Carrie Kelly Robin, or
yes, I was about to say, yeah. And now I'm like, yeah, I will promote her as Carrie Kelly Robin. I'm fine with that.
I mean,
she could do it.
She's got the attitude and she's got the action chops. She would be, even obviously, I want her as Barbara. I want her as even now.
No,
like Barbara.
I'm more for the Anna Kendrick as Barbara, but I'm fine with and Jenna Malone can definitely play Carrie Kelly more. I think she has more of the Carrie Kelly attitude.
Honestly, I haven't really seen Anna Kendrick do enough serious stuff. I love Anna Kendrick. Don't get me wrong, I love her, but Anna Kendrick strikes me as more of a cast her as Squirrel Girl kind of thing. Like, she would be perfect with Squirrel Girl. Like, if you cast Anna Kendrick as Squirrel Girl, I would be happy. Like, that would be like, you know, or even have her be Spider-Gwen. Like, Anna Kendrick as Spider-Gwen. If you're not going to have Emma Stone come back, cast Anna Kendrick.
That could work. But yeah, so
like for Batgirl, you need a little bit of a serious kind of edge to your character.
Speaking of which, Sucker Punch reminds me that did you watch the unrated cut or the I watched theatrical, because Nick told me there's barely any difference.
Tables have turned, mother.
No, but guess what? No, it didn't. Because guess what? You told me there's no difference. So it wasn't like I told. Wait.
I said in the grand.
It's not the same, because guess what? I told you in the BVS one to watch the extended version.
I watched the extended version, mother effer.
You told me not to. So, by the way, that was the only one I could get on streaming. So, you know what? And you told me there's no difference. So,
excuses.
Yeah, all right. But
it's all in good fun.
Like I said, I love this. My favorite action scene actually is when they're in the train fighting those chrome robots, and you see like the bullets are hitting them and they're shattering in slow motion, and you see the reflections. I'm like, oh my gosh. And what I love is that in the reality where Rocket is stabbed, in the hyper reality, she actually gets blown up on the train. So it's cool how like the reality kind of changes
because it is a kind of a projection of what's going on. I mean, kind of a little bit of spoiler alert towards the end. It's, you know, all the big events did actually happen in the main reality. So
yeah, you know, I really like that. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was like really, really, really dope. And honestly, see, here's the thing. I like these movies that play with your head, like Inception. This is basically a Zack Snyder version of kind of on the theme of Inception, kind of, when you think about it.
This is Zack Snyder. Well, this came. Okay, I need to look up when Inception came out.
Which would be interesting if it was influenced, because he's best friends with Chris Nolan.
Year before. Inception came out the year before Sucker Punch.
Okay.
So they were basically in production around the same time, roughly.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Yes, I agree. This is not the best Zack Snyder movie when you compare it to like Man of Steel.
Speaking of Man of Steel.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Man of Steel came out in 2013.
Yeah.
Which means, you know, most movies have like a 2 to 3 year kind of production cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So around the time Sucker Punch came out, Zack Snyder and Christopher Nolan were probably in the early stages of talking about Man of Steel.
Yeah, in other words, probably Nolan. They were in the early stages of Nolan saying, "Hey, you should come to DC and do Superman." Because remember, when Nolan proposed to Warner Brothers bringing Zack on to direct Man of Steel, he said, "Zack will do for Superman what I did for Batman," and that is high praise coming from Chris Nolan.
Yeah, and the fact that like Christopher Nolan is still in the credits for the Snyder Cut.
Sure, because guess what? All of the Snyder DC movies, you do feel a little bit of Nolan in there too.
I honestly feel like, and this is like that's honestly the greatest defense when people say Zack Snyder's a bad director. Christopher Nolan literally brought him in, and he said exactly what he said. Like, and like so. To say Zack Snyder's a bad director, I mean, this is kind of a reach. Might be a little hyperbole here. Is to say the Nolan trilogy is a bad film because you're calling into question Christopher Nolan's judge of character as a director judging other directors. You're calling into question Christopher Nolan's ability to direct as well. So
and there are plenty of people.
It's a bit of a reach. This is a bit of a reach. I'll be honest.
I've seen people say that, but like you said in the earlier stream, there are people that say that Nolan's Batman is the Batman for them. So I'm like,
that's perfectly fine.
That's fine.
My Batman is Michael Keaton, and people hate those Michael Keaton movies, and that's perfectly fine.
I love them. Not as much.
Your Batman is Ben Affleck.
Yes.
I think he's cool. He's not my top favorite. I like him. But he's your favorite. Here's the thing: everyone has their preferences.
That's fine. It's like it doesn't make it. And this is I was tweeting with Snyder Queen about this, and here's the thing: yes, Batman '89 is Batman. So
I mean, he literally says he's Batman.
I'm Batman. So does Nolan. But one of the I was talking to Snyder Queen about this on Twitter, and we both came to the argument that here's the thing. When they say your Batman's not Batman, he is, because you know why? He has the DC logo on all of his movies. If he has the DC logo on all of his movies, he is Batman, whether you like it or not. And by the way, so Snyder Queen had a funny thing. She goes, next time they say it's not my Batman, just say, yeah, well, my Batman will kick your Batman's ass. And I'm like, my Batman beats Superman and Darkseid and Steppenwolf. And cleared a room of 20 armed terrorists.
My Batman sets people on fire.
Okay, my Batman shoots people.
My Batman makes funny faces.
My Batman makes badass faces.
My Batman nailed Michelle Pfeiffer. Bam, I win.
Okay, I can't beat that. Okay,
Michelle Pfeiffer in her prime.
Well, let me put it this way: in the current in the old version of the Snyder Cut, my Batman impregnated Lois Lane.
That just makes your Batman a bastard. So.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
congratulations. You effed up your argument.
Yeah, I know. I disagree, though. Spider Holland has the Marvel logo. Yeah, you don't have to call him the Spider-Man, but it doesn't make him any less Spider-Man than the past iterations of the character. It just makes him a different take.
Toby's my Spider-Man.
Me too. I just enjoy other alternate takes. Oh, yeah, here you go. My Batman beats Darkseid. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Oh, my Batman fought Doomsday. I beat you automatically, dude.
My other favorite Batman fights Darkseid every other week on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, that's true. But okay.
My Batman went to Apocalypse and got Darkseid to back down after setting off all his hellspores.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. And
Kevin Conroy is the greatest Batman.
In terms of animated Batman, yeah, I agree with you. He is the best.
If we're gonna argue feats, Kevin Conroy, like, I'm sorry, just like Kevin.
Okay, this is a discussion for another time.
I mean, let's be honest. We were just having fun. That was kind of just more of a fun thing.
No, but I do agree with you that Kevin Conroy is the definitive animated Batman. I'll give you that.
Yeah, as far as like, if we're gonna what's your favorite animated Superman? Because there's really no.
Well, real quick, I just want to say one thing. Tevia put a very important comment. My Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman fought an army of Doomsdays. Exactly. Thank you. My Batman went morally bankrupt, went suicidal, almost got killed fighting Doomsday, and is depressed. Huh. Well, have you watched the movies? Because he goes through a redemption arc if you combine it with Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I'm just gonna say that. But yeah, so in terms of definitive Superman, I have two. Number one is the animated Superman.
Well, we're taking live action out of the equation. We're talking strictly.
Yeah, I'm talking animated Superman. It's the one. Number one is the one from Justice League and Justice League Unlimited because that's the show I grew up on.
Mine is Tim Daly, who was the voice for the animated series. I don't think he returned for Justice League, but like he was the voice of the animated series. For him, it's just his voice is like
either one of those. Either one of those is fine with me. And then my second one is the one that's in the DC AMU. The movies that were loosely based on the new 52.
Yeah,
I love that guy. Oh, by the way, yeah, I know Mask of Shy. Yeah, he was doing a parody of the anti-Snyder people. So I just wanted to play into that. And by the way, Lord Thoth says, as long as we ignore the Harley Quinn animated Batman, which was awful, and the Batman who slept with Barbara Gordon.
Oh yeah, that I kind of I disagree with you on that one, but we can have that argument another time.
Oh, I mean, are we going to talk about this? Oh gosh,
I just said we could have that argument another time.
Yes.
I was deliberately trying not to start an argument.
Oh, here's the title of that stream.
Timeline,
Here's the title of that stream. Is Batman a P word?
The answer to that is no, because Barbara Gordon was of age.
Mask of Shy actually has a really funny point for that. He says that movie never happened.
Well, technically, it's not part of the DC animated universe. It was just kind of a one-off thing.
That's why I don't trust Bruce Timm when it comes to Batman and Wonder Woman, because he tried to push that. Which, here's the thing. Yeah, let me put it this way. Ignoring the creepiness of the age thing, he's basically her surrogate father. That's why it's kind of weird in terms of relationship-wise. Even if they're not related by blood, it's still icky.
I don't really see her as a surrogate. Like, her surrogate father, because you got to remember, in the DCAU, Barbara is like a doctor or whatever. Gordon is her surrogate father. Okay, Bruce is at best a mentor. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to sleep with him, and plus, Bruce would not do that to Dick. I very doubt that he would do that to Dick Grayson.
There's kind of an undercurrent in some Batman stories where all Bruce cares about is the mission. Like if you kind of watch a lot of Batman stories, that kind of that's like so. Like honestly, story wise, I mean, because here's the thing in the Batman animated series continuity, him sleeping with Barbara was a bad thing. Like it's portrayed as a bad decision. Like they don't glorify it. Like the whole that's how Dick is estranged from him, and him and Barbara have a professional relationship at best. Like that whole backstory is a mistake.
Here's the problem.
That's my defense of it.
Here's the problem.
It's viewed as a mistake, and that it should have happened.
That's true. But here's the thing. Bruce Timm's own statements outside of that have been he wants Batman with Batgirl. And that's why I'm like, nope.
Well, that's his personal shipping. Everyone has a right to ship whoever they want to.
Yeah, even if it's creepy as hell. But that's why I don't trust him when it comes to trying to push Batman and Wonder Woman. Because I'm like, first, you actually summarize my argument. Batman only love is Gotham City and his mission. That's it.
I mean, there's different versions of Batman.
Or there's this. I actually like this.
I mean, Nightfire is my personal ship anyway.
That's right. Okay, so back to Sucker Punch.
I'm sorry, I refuse to call it Dickfire because he needs.
That sounds really bad. So
that makes it sound like he needs to go to the doctor and get a cream.
Yeah, it makes it look like he has a transmitted disease. So anyway,
I say Nightfire. That's the ship name I use.
That actually sounds badass. That actually sounds like it would be a superhero name. I should use that.
And because okay, here's why I love Dick Grayson and Corey. Because they're so perfect together.
Yeah, they are.
Like Barbara and Dick, they have too many problems. They're kind of like that one couple that's like almost perfect for each other, but there's like one or two things that just kind of drive a wedge, and it's like one of those tragedies. Like we were almost perfect for each other, but like I'm saying, where it's like you'll always care for that person, and you might be friends with them going forward, but like it just could never work out because of one or two things. Like, let's say you're perfect for each other, but one wants kids and the other one doesn't, or stuff like that. That's how I see Dick and Barbara, where they're so perfect for each other, except for like one or two things. Whereas Dick and Corey complement each other so well. Like they're like the perfect yin yang relationship. Like what the other person lacks, the other person fills in.
Yeah, and by this is awful. I prefer Wonder Girl and Superboy Connor Kent.
Wonder Girl and Dick is more of like is like
too.
Well, no,
Actually,
I classify it as they're like a summer fling, or they're like a hey, we like each other because I mean at least they're the same age and they're on a team together, so it makes sense why they'd be attracted to each other. Because you got to realize Dick likes strong women. Dick's like women who I hate you. I hate
this is sounding horrible. Oh my gosh!
All right, I am.
Look at this comment.
Okay, Nightwing likes women who can kick butt with him. Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
This is off the rails real fast.
This is gonna get clipped and posted.
This is gonna get clipped, but look at what Lord Throff put on there. I'm just gonna put that up. Okay, now we have to get really back to Sucker Punch real quick.
All right, enough dick jokes, everybody. This is a Christian Minecraft server.
Oh, this anytime I have you on here, it's beyond that. But okay.
I try to rein myself in.
I know some people like Yara Flor and John Kent, which I'm against. They only like that because of Future State, which they weren't even a couple then. So, and by the way, Tevye had to mention John Kent once, so we're just gonna go off of that. So we've got
that out of the way.
I will say one thing, Tevye. I will commend you for being able to bring up John Kent in a Sucker Punch stream. I
will say, Superboy and Miss Martian are perfect.
Yeah, I agree on that. So anyway,
let's just end it on that. Let's end it on a good ship.
Yeah, back to Sucker Punch. So anyway,
I swear, when you get a girlfriend, if you don't have her cosplay as Miss Martian and you Superboy, I'm
gonna be Superman. She's gonna be Wonder Woman. What are you talking about?
But I thought you were gonna be Superboy and have her be Miss Martian.
Why would I do that?
Because it's cute as hell.
I mean, I do have the costume, but I'm saying I prefer Superman and Wonder Woman. And by the way, my favorite character was Rocket. Honestly, mine is either Rocket or Vanessa Hudgens' character.
Which one? I mean, Jenna Malone. You know, I'm a fan of her. So.
John Kent doesn't exist in my head canon. Those shots fired. Shots fired. And by the way, we actually agree with Tevye here. So,
okay.
All right.
Okay. Peace has been obtained. There is peace in the realm.
I think my favorite characters are either Vanessa Hudgens or Sweet Pea.
Oh, Sweet Pea's not so sweet.
No, she's not. But what I like is that her whole motivation is protecting her sister, and she's like, "No, we can't escape because they will kill us. This is not a good plan." It's like I need that Iron Man clip of him going, "Not a good plan." I'm gonna get that after this. I need that clip. So, who are your favorite characters besides Jenna Malone? Oh, by the way, it was kind of cool seeing Moon Knight in this movie.
Well, I was gonna say Oscar Isaacs. He puts in like this is. You gotta remember, this is one of his early performances.
He was great as the bad guy. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Also, can we give a shout out to Carla what's her name? Whatever her name is.
Yeah, she was gonna be Zack Snyder's Catwoman. Just want to say that right there.
Oh my god.
Oh, and by the way, and that would be great. She's the voice of the Kryptonian ship in Man of Steel, BVS, and Zack Snyder's Justice League.
He would have been so great.
And by her name is Gugino.
That's the first time I'm hearing that.
Oh, and yeah, she was kind of a hidden protagonist because you could kind of take the whole movie as her movie because she survives at the end.
I gotta say, Dr. Vera, she had my favorite quote. I want to read it right here real quick.
Is it dirty?
No.
Good. Go ahead.
If you do not dance, you have no... I'm just going to say it normally. If you do not dance, you have no purpose. And we do not keep things that have no purpose. You see, your fight for survival starts right now. You don't want to be judged? You won't be. You don't think you're strong enough? You are. You're afraid? Don't be. You have all the weapons you need.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
I'm sorry, but like, it just... every time I hear that quote, it just gives me chills because it's very inspirational, especially that last one. You have all the weapons you need. Now fight.
Yeah. All right. So I could summarize this whole movie, by the way, as like if you and I were like writing a movie and go, you know, who'd be cool is if this girl fights giant robotic samurai, and then she goes into a World War II battlefield with modern weaponry. One of them's in a giant steampunk mech suit that flies up in the air and shoots biplanes out of the sky.
Are you saying Zack Snyder and his team got freaking wasted on booze and weed and came up with this movie?
Exactly. That's kind of what it sounds like. But it's cool.
Because I support that.
It's basically it is a comic book movie, even though it's not based on a comic book, because it has the tropes of a comic book, like complete ridiculous. It sounds like a comic book that'd be made in the 90s.
Looks like Jenna Malone with Rocket. So
yeah, it's practically saying you ain't a victim, just do it, which is Nike. There you go. And
just,
that
just
also
do it.
Do
it.
Yeah, to reference a previous stream, that's kind of like the Green Lantern oath when you think about it, right? Just saying.
Nice of you to shine a light on that.
Oh, you mean a limelight?
Okay, I set you up for that one, and I cannot be happy.
So well! It was so... I had to play that clip immediately when you put that in there.
If you wouldn't, I would have tried you for war crimes at The Hague.
Yeah, exactly. It is absolutely nuts. So, let's...
I mean, hey, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
I need that clip, too. Jeez.
You need to just download the entire Warner Brothers movie library and then just put
10 minutes at a time. 10 minutes at a time. And I just play the 10-minute movie because I can only do this 10 minutes at a time. I basically did that with Zack Snyder's Justice League, so...
You did, and it's practically shameful.
It's because so much of that movie is memeable. So many of Snyder's movies, by the way, are quotable and memeable. That's the great part about his filmography, and that's why I love it so much. And one other thing I love about Snyder, and that's the general thing about his movies, and is that there's so much about the movie that they encourage multiple viewings. Like, I have to watch Sucker Punch again in order to, like, catch all this stuff, because I'm like, let me put it this way: I've seen Zack Snyder's Justice League 10 times. I'm still finding stuff that I didn't notice before.
Next time, watch the extended edition.
I will. If it's, I have to find it. It's not on streaming.
Yo ho, da 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 da.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Pirate's life for me.
Yeah, I know. Or I could just buy it, because Lord knows I'm probably gonna buy all of Snyder's movies, because I believe at this point I am a disciple of Snyder.
I mean, I thought that kind of went with the concept.
If you look at my background, I have his trident, his movie. I have a shrine to the Snyder Cut. I'm pretty sure I'm a Snyder fan.
What are we? Some sort of like Snyder podcast or something?
So was we some type of Snyder Squad? That has to be the name of the stream at some point. Snyder Squad. No, that's the name of our group chat.
I thought it was Snyder. I thought we had it as like the Snyder Crew.
I know, but maybe our Twitter chat or something like that. Oh, by the way,
well, to be honest, I actually think Snyder Squad works better, because I'm one of the people who loves alliteration, and plus saying Snyder Squad allows us to do squad up.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
or
so chatting it up,
all the squad memes.
Yeah, exactly. Chatting it up. What's up, dude? He goes, Sucker Punch got totally slept on in its day. Critics hated it, and audience skipped out on it. It really is the kind of movie best appreciated by comic readers. Yeah, and then yeah, exactly. That it's basically a comic book. I count it as a comic book movie, which is why I'm covering it here, because when you look at it, it views like a comic book.
Yeah, and it actually can be viewed in multiple ways. Because like I see the comic movie interpretation is perfectly accurate. Though the way I see it as it's an adaptation to a video game that never existed.
Yeah, exactly, that too. It's like, that's why I think it's got kind of like a I hesitate to use this words about Snyder fans, a cult following, but it's you know why. But it's basically a
Them
like
cult and their bots and their
Russian propaganda.
I was gonna go in different directions, like, and their facts and their logic and their actual reasoning for what they're doing, like, and their love of quality cinema.
Yeah, I know. Oh, you mean Snyder fans aren't bad? But anyway,
who knew?
Do as a pirate.
Yo ho, do as you free. You are a pirate.
Yeah, exactly. So
So I didn't know I would be quoting Lazy Town today, so I'm happy for that.
So I also love, by the way, there was that one scene in the movie where, like, they're flying in the plane around the castle, and then a dragon comes out and takes a big bite out of the back of the plane, but the plane stops and then keeps flying. I'm like, wait, what?
Like I said, video game movie.
Like I said, exactly, in comic book movie, because that's literally what would happen.
They had to stop the load the next sequence.
I will say my one problem.
The frame rate stuttered for a few minutes.
I will say my one problem with that, the way I would improve that scene is that I would have had it where she briefly stayed in the gun turret and fired down the dragon's throat.
DC, please hire this man.
Yes, wouldn't that be dope? And she's like, ah, and then she leaves. You could still have it where she has to leave. I don't associate myself with Zack Snyder and his works. Well, you're on the stream, so.
Also, he's not related to Rob Schneider. It's spelled differently.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, it's like that's the one way I would improve that scene. At least briefly, you can have it where she's still in there firing, and then the dragon keeps like chomping, and then before it gets crushed, she jumps out. But I think it would have hit harder if she's like firing the machine gun down the dragon's throat. I don't know, but it's still really cool. So I don't really have a complaint. It's just that's how I would have done it, kind of. Let me ask you this: which of the 3 action scenes was your favorite? Was it the samurai? Yeah, I had to get. But in your defense, that was freaking dope.
I mean, to be fair, all of them were like really good. I mean, barring the samurai, I probably have to say the trench scene was really cool.
That's my favorite.
I mean, all of them I really liked. The train one was okay.
Yeah, the train one was dope, but I love the trench one because they're like close quarters with guns, and like Sweet Pea has a freaking broadsword on her back, and I'm like, oh, this is dope. So Throth likes the samurai. He agrees with you there. Those giant samurai robots. And Chatting It Up says, love the glamour shot in the fight with the dragon. She's about to finish it off. And there's a slow-mo shot of her staring into the camera with her hair blowing like a shampoo commercial. That's basically Zack Snyder's movies. He always has like slow motion like that, kind of.
I mean, maybe she was born with it.
It's like also they had that scene in like Zack Snyder's Justice League of Wonder Woman, and she's like doing this after saving all those people, and you see her hair like, and I'm like, yeah.
I mean, you hired Zack Snyder. What do you expect?
And what's interesting, by the way, this movie stands as a direct refutation whenever anti-Snyders call Zack Snyder a misogynist, because I'm like, he has strong females in his movies kicking ass.
Well, the problem is. The obvious retort to be was like, yeah, he has strong women, but he dressed them up like hookers, or I'm deliberately being.
Oh, and by the way, there were people that were complaining with how he had Wonder Woman dressed, and I'm like, that's her costume.
Yeah.
By the way,
have you read a comic book?
And by the way,
sure, when they wear pants sometimes, but like that's the exception.
All right, I have a Comic-Con story that I want to tell all you people. So when I was at Florida SuperCon, I got this signed by David Finch, and I asked him about this costume of Wonder Woman because I'm always interested. I've always been interested in how they got this costume. So he said it was a political thing. DC wanted her fully covered now. In other words, they didn't like the bathing suit thing. Then it lasted 2 issues because the fans got such backlash that they're like, change it back.
What I find hilarious is the politics when I was growing up was stop trying to tell women what to wear. Like, if a woman wants to wear sexy clothing, she should be allowed to. It's like, it was kind of a religious, puritanical kind of thing. It's really crazy how the exact same kind of arguments the religious zealots were making back in like the 90s and kind of 2000s, the other side is making now. It just blows my mind.
It is really weird. But it's like, let me put it this way. Each of these characters in the movie are like badasses in their own right. Like, it's in the dream world, so it's believable that they'd all of a sudden be badasses. Mm-hmm. So it's like, as opposed to Captain Marvel, where she's good at everything. That's why that movie sucks.
And the thing is, those women are still vulnerable because, like, if you watch those things, they still take hits. They don't plow through the enemies.
Most of them die,
or like, you know, they get injured, they bleed, you know, or whatnot. Like, there's actually times in those sequences where, like, are they going to get out of it? Like, you're actually kind of concerned because, like, it's not they're just plowing through the enemies. They got to actually think about it. They got to strategize.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like they can go, okay, so let's go get the lighter, the knife, and all that stuff. I love when they're getting the knife from the chef, and when they change into the new reality, they're like, Rocket leans in and goes, "Pay attention," and then it changes to the train reality where they board the train. Like, that is badass. Oh, all right. So Chatting It Up says favorite scene is the World War II scene just because it's gloriously insane with mecha and cyborg sword fights with John Woo style gunplay. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
The gunplay in this movie is like John Wick style, like, craziness.
You would think that someone killed Zack Snyder's puppy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, exactly. It's like John Wick. You killed his dog and stole his car. It's like, are you an idiot?
You could say that Baby Doll has a very particular set of skills, one honed over years.
And she will find you, and she will kill you.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
that played out really well.
Now, what's your favorite scene in the like insane asylum reality?
I'd probably say the scene that I quoted, where she kind of, winding it up, and where Gina's kind of talking to her. Also, I love how there's kind of like, it's very like, even in the second reality, it's very anachronism. There's a lot of anachronisms where it's obviously supposed to be a 1950s kind of setting. I mean, that based off of everything else.
Yeah,
that's kind of what they're going for. But then she turns on the reel tape, and suddenly it's Bjork is playing.
Yeah.
Literally music that wouldn't come out for like another 30 years.
Yeah, of course. But it's like, all right.
You gotta realize that music is diegetic. So, okay. Diegetic is audio that can be heard within the universe of the movie. And the fact that she turns it on and off, it's clear that music is diegetic.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. And plus, we ignore it because, like we said before, it's basically a comic book / video game movie. So we can afford.
Nothing about this movie is even remotely realistic. So
nope.
Literally, that song playing is probably literally the least of our worries.
Let me put it this way: we're going into this movie not expecting like the most realistic movie ever. No. We're going into it expecting a Zack Snyder movie.
Now, did you watch that sequence I sent you, the Love is the Drug sequence? I sent it to you on Twitter about a week or so ago.
Let me see. I don't think I did.
It's from some of the cut content of the movie.
Oh, cut content. No, I didn't watch that.
Yeah, because they cut a lot of the content from the second reality. Like, there's a lot of sequences about the brothel and whatnot. It kind of sets up the story a little bit better. You know?
So what was in that scene, if you wanted to describe it? By the way, best scene is where Oscar Isaac's character cracks and confesses everything. Baby Doll got the last laugh. I know. That was great.
My favorite scene, one of them, this is kind of towards the end. This is an extended edition scene because the High Roller is John Hamm.
Of course.
Of Mad Men fame. And he just does a beautiful scene about, like, giving in and whatnot and just kind of release. And just a very beautiful thing. It's like, oh, so this is why they hired him for Mad Men. Okay.
And this is why he was campaigning so hard to play Batman. And I'm like, no, I don't want you playing Batman. You cannot do Batman.
Actually, I think John Hamm could probably do a good Batman.
Bruce Wayne, but not Batman.
They said the same thing about Christian Bale.
They
hated Michael Keaton as Batman.
No, but here's the thing.
Robert Pattinson was the wrong choice to play Batman.
Here's the thing. Christian Bale is good as Bruce Wayne, not good as Batman. So you're just proving my point.
I listed two other actors. Michael Keaton was hated and he's or even Robert Pattinson. Like, we're not gonna have the sparkly guy play Batman or Heath Ledger.
Mask of Shy basically summarized it. He could do Two-Face. I could see him more as a Two-Face.
I still want him to be a Batman, but literally the
only actor who's been perfect as both Batman and Bruce Wayne is Ben Affleck. He's the only one that I would say both his Batman and Bruce Wayne are superb.
Michael Keaton was a good Batman. Actually, no.
Bruce Wayne.
No, I got to add Val Kilmer to that list.
Yeah, he was a fantastic Bruce Wayne.
No, and he was a great Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So let's add Val Kilmer to that list of people who did both well.
Okay, but I will say, I'll tell you what, he's number 2, Affleck's number 1. I'll give you that.
As a peacekeeping offer, I will accept it.
Yeah, because and I will say Val Kilmer is a underrated Batman. I will give you that. He was actually really good.
I feel, and as far as like, if we're kind of like completely talk, like George Clooney, I thought he was okay.
Nope.
Honestly,
Sorry.
he was like meh to like below average for both Bruce Wayne and Batman. Like not terrible. Like he wasn't terrible in either, but he was like, it's like okay.
What was kind of funny is that they Clooney was asked if he was coming back for the Flash, so he goes, "No, I guess when you tank the franchise, they don't invite you back." By the way, chatting it up.
Did you know that George Clooney has a standing offer to refund the ticket purchase of anyone who saw the movie?
Yeah, exactly. So
George Clooney owes me $5.
Yeah. So
I literally saw that movie as
Wow.
a kid back in the day.
So chatting it up says, "Yeah, I hate Bale's bat voice." Yeah, exactly. Where's the trigger? Where's Ray? Where is he?
Oh my God! There's actually a video where Kevin Conroy calls Christian Bale's Batman voice absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like when you watch the Honest trailer, it's like, watch Batman's ongoing battle with throat cancer. And I'm like, at least with Batfleck, they gave him a microphone and a voice changer.
And at least with Keaton, honestly, with that era, it was more just like kind of deep in their voice and made it
that was fine.
more gravelly.
That was fine.
Also, if we're gonna talk about Bruce Wayne Batman scenes, my favorite one is literally in Batman mid-series where Kevin Conroy is literally talking to himself.
Yeah.
And he like switches the voices mid-sentence, and it is so great.
Yeah, I love that. I think Adam West did that same thing once, but
I wouldn't be surprised.
Now let me ask you this: how high, like out of 10, how would you rate a Sucker Punch? Going back to Sucker Punch,
7.5.
I'd agree with you on that one. 7.5. It's not perfect, but it was enjoyable. I had a fun time watching it.
It's hella enjoyable. There is some substance to it. Like it's not BVS levels of substance. It's enjoyable as hell. Characters are good enough. It's a good, solid movie. It's something that you revisit. It's basically a movie that you revisit every few years. Every time you watch, you'd be like, "Oh, hey, yeah, that was a pretty good movie. Why do I not watch it more often?" And by the way, chatting it up says Batfleck deserves to have a solo Batman movie. He was solo run. Yeah, and let's put it this way. It's very likely that he could get his own Batman movie under the new regime. Ignore the Zack Snyder coming back for Justice League. This is very likely. Like with Jenna Malone co-starring as
Carrie Kelly. It has to be Carrie Kelly. But this is and with Joe Manganiello as Deathstroke, this is extremely likely. It's like this and Henry Cavill Superman getting a Man of Steel 2. I would say I'm 100% sure we're going to get those two movies. 100%.
With the current culture, I don't know why they haven't brought Carrie Kelly Robin into this. Like
I know that would be so cool.
It's like it would be such a great way to shut up the people like, oh, you don't like diverse people in your movies. You know, can you imagine where it's like Jenna Malone and cast as Carrie? Because yeah, Jenna Malone, she's a little bit older, but have it be an older. Yeah, it doesn't have to be the kid Carrie Kelly that we had before. And plus, here's the thing. At this point, Batman would not be as abrasive as he was in Dark Knight Returns when he brings in Carrie Kelly, who'd be a little more like the classic Batman. You know what I would do?
What?
I'd kind of combine Carrie Kelly a little bit with a spoiler character. And here's my story pitch.
Okay, go ahead.
Carrie Kelly was childhood friends with Jason Todd, and she knew that Jason Todd was Robin. And let's say the crowbar incident happened in Gotham, and Carrie Kelly actually got there before Batman did, and then she was hiding in wreckage. And now she wants to do her friend Jason right. It's a tribute for her. For being Robin is a tribute for her. Yeah. That's great. Like, he literally has one of... And what she does is she has one of Robin's old suits because Jason Todd would keep spare. She was the best friend of that kind of thing. I mean, this is a bit hack jobby, I'll admit, but like it's a good way to kind of set it up, bring it back in, because like if you're gonna do a Robin, you have to bring in the Robin that died, and honestly, that just sets up the next movie, which would be Under the Red Hood with the Carrie Kelly Robin, and because Jason Todd comes back because of Lazarus Pits, his mind's all effed up. So you got that conflict where he's like, you replaced me, blah blah, kind of thing. It's a great conflict.
By the way, chatting it up actually has a better point. Sucker Punch is better than most MCU movies.
Well, that's a pretty low bar to clear.
That's a really low bar, but I agree with you on that one. It's better. It's not like let it this way. It's no Zack Snyder's Justice League, but it's way better than most MCU movies. I'll give you that.
It's better than Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh yeah, let me put it this way: Captain Marvel is better than Thor: Love and Thunder.
How low do you have to sink to be?
Oh, it is extreme. That bar is like really, really low. Here's the thing.
See, the bar for Love and Thunder, it's not even on the ground. It's literally 6 feet up below the ground.
Here's the way it works. You know how many MCU movies there are, right? So at the very bottom is Thor: Love and Thunder. Above that is Captain Marvel.
Wow.
So that's
you're done effed up when Captain Marvel is a better movie.
Exactly. I'm so happy Taika's not coming back. So there you go. So
that actually, if we're gonna do it a side tangent, the fact that like it was announced shortly afterwards that he would not be coming back, that is a very big statement from Marvel. That is very big.
For Marvel, I mean, it's rumored, but it's heavily rumored by legitimate sources.
Like, if he does not come back, that is a very big statement from Marvel where, they realize,
Best MCU movie. That I agree with you on that, but those are the best MCU movies. I put Sucker Punch above those. Yeah, I would say so, too. As someone that's more of a Zack Snyder fan than an MCU fan, yeah, I agree with you on that one.
I would put Sucker Punch above No Way Home because No Way Home, while it's a good movie, a lot of it is nostalgia.
Yeah, it's like nostalgia. Look, fans, we gave you what you wanted.
And it's an okay movie. Don't get me wrong. It's probably the best of the trilogy.
It's the best MCU movie, in my opinion, short of Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
I actually got to defend the first Avengers because, the movie itself is solid. It tells a simple story, but it acts as a great capstone to the Phase 1. The whole... It's Phase 1, honestly, is beautiful. I'm sorry. Phase 1
Phase 1. Phase 1 was Phase 1 and 2 were the best.
If you end Marvel movies with Avengers, it would be so beautiful. Because that capstone of that Avengers movie, I'm sorry, that moment where where they do that circle pan.
That's at the end of my intro, my outro, actually. Yeah,
that is still one of my favorite movie shots of all time.
Yeah,
it is. That it's the music swelling. It's just
where Thor punches that space slug. It's not Thor. Where Hulk does that, and then they do the whole thing. It's so great.
And then Captain America's giving the orders, and it looks at Hulk and says, "And Hulk, smash!"
Just
and
smash.
Just smiles and just goes off. And
yeah, I love it. Yeah, I'll give you that. So, anyways,
that movie knew what it needed to do to please the fans, and it did it beautifully.
It did fantastically.
That movie still holds up. It's a bit thin. It's a bit thin for
the
story.
It's thin. It's kind of getting to where it doesn't hold up. But let me put it this way. Oh, but also, okay. So Tevia says, personally, I think Infinity War and Endgame and Doctor Strange are way better than Sucker Punch. Okay, no, that I disagree with you on that one. I will say though, hang on, Infinity War was the best version of Thor.
Infinity War is a great Thanos movie.
And by the way,
I think Infinity War is a good movie. I think it's a really good movie. The fact that the villain won was freaking bold.
I'm like, ha.
Endgame, it's just they had to do the whole time travel Deus Machina kind of thing. It's okay. It's not terrible, but Endgame really relies on you knowing all the MCU. Infinity War, you can almost go in blind and probably enjoy it.
Here's the problem with Endgame. In order to really enjoy that movie, you have to have watched every single MCU movie. So, but I will say the one MCU movie that's better than Sucker Punch, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Because that's peak MC. That is honestly my favorite MCU movie right there.
Honestly, the only one problem Winter Soldier is it suffered from a problem that a lot of movies had at the time, which Wonder Woman also suffered from the same problem, is third act syndrome, where the first 2 acts are amazing, and then the third act you get this like the CGI spectacle that doesn't even go with the themes of the movie because like they want like a big final battle. Wonder Woman has this problem too, so I'm trying to be fair here. The first Wonder Woman has the same problem. The movie is amazing up until that final fight. Then it's just a big blobby CGI mess, which is barely anything to do with the movie. At least Winter Soldier had like the Bucky stuff, trying to get him to remember. That actually made it a little bit better than Wonder Woman, honestly.
Now we're gonna do this to wrap up our discussion of Sucker Punch. We're gonna rank it among the Zack Snyder movies we've talked about. Now, the way I rank Zack Snyder's movies that we've talked about already, Zack Snyder's Justice League, obviously, Batman versus Superman because I'm a Trinity fan, Man of Steel, honestly, wait, Wonder Woman, then Man of Steel. Actually, no. If we're talking about the movies he directly directed, Justice League, BVS, obviously the Ultimate Edition, Man of Steel, and then Sucker Punch. We haven't talked about Watchmen yet, so we can't put that on the list.
Yeah, that may or may not be coming in the future. For me,
it's coming next week, I believe.
I probably do. Obviously, Justice League is on top. The Joss Whedon version. Sorry, I had to troll you. I'm sorry. I had to troll you. I'm sorry.
Wait. Sorry, one more.
Why did you say that name?
So worth it.
But Chatting It Up says Infinity War Endgame should have used a time travel to bring in Maestro. Yeah, exactly. Instead of the stupid ass Hulk that we got that won't go away.
So it's
yeah, go ahead.
Snyder Cut.
Yeah, of course.
Number 2 would be Man of Steel.
Okay.
3 and 4 are kind of interchangeable with like BVS and Wonder Woman. I might put Wonder Woman at 3, but it's a really, really close difference between that and BVS. Just because like Wonder Woman just kind of has like that feeling for me. BVS is great. I like BVS. And then you got Sucker Punch.
Yeah, me too. So it's kudos for actually. Yeah, exactly. I know who Maestro is because that would have been way better if they started teasing that as the next MCU villain, because they could definitely do that really well. Like the Hulk starts to lose control. Now, so we've talked about Sucker Punch. Now we're going to get to what I want to announce, and then we'll get to Nick's comic. So I'm just going to put on, Evil Future Hulk. Yeah, that would be great. I'm going to just change it to, I'm just going to put the banner on here. Right there. I am announcing that I am writing a comic book. The art's going to be by Dawson from the Four Nerds. And he's been on the stream many, many, many times. He should be coming on in the near future. So I actually do have some art to show off. So I'm going to share my screen. Here is the cover for issue 1.
Holy shnikey!
Yeah, exactly. That is Thunder Goddess.
Boobs.
Yes. Essentially, so what this is that
you got the classic shot.
Yeah, actually, it's a tribute to a DC cover. All the covers for this series, which is going to be book 1 is going to be 6 issues, but they're going to be graphic novel length. So they're going to be it's going to be a beefy book when it's all combined. And it's going to so book 1 is going to be 6 issues, and I plan on having at least 3 books. So it's going to be quite a series. And then so my plan is we're going to do book 1. Then we're going to do an anthology series, like a couple of my comic book writing friends come together, and that includes you, Nick. And they come together and they can write the origins for some of my Justice League members known as the Pantheon. So the league's name is the Pantheon, and their headquarters is called Olympus.
Are you saying that you're starting a league of your own?
Yeah, exactly. So her powers is she shoots lightning, kind of like Palpatine, only cool. But so there's this concept in my world called powered ones. They're the ones that have superpowers, and then there's like in her society, it's stratified based upon your powers. Like if you can manipulate water and rock, you're like the labor.
So are you saying she has unlimited power?
But when she hits a powered one with her lightning, she supercharges it. It's kind of like Superman being directly hit with sunlight. So there's this being called the Warlord. He's the one with the red eyes. Actually, I'll reshare the cover. So he's the one with the red eyes. He's basically my dark side stand-in like character right here. And he's going after her because, again, if she hits him with her powers, he becomes invincible practically. So her mother sends her to Earth, kind of, and again, I'm combining basically a lot of Wonder Woman and Superman themes or like Supergirl themes in there. Sends her to Earth to escape. She lands on Earth. Then they send a bounty hunter after her. And then she's saved by the Pantheon. And the Pantheon is led by Aiden Smith. His code name is Titan, and he's basically my Superman stand-in. And he has to do like the power scaling. I made him. He has the powers of Superman, but he's slightly less invulnerable. He's still tough and stuff. He still scars, but it takes a lot to take this dude out. Yeah, and then we'll do Nick in a second. But all the art is being done by Dawson from the Four Nerds. So all the covers, all of the interior art, and once again, every like cover is going to be a tribute to a cover to some of my favorite DC covers. That's kind of what I'm doing, because a lot of this book is going to be a tribute to DC. And actually, I can show you. This is.
So, are you saying you got this covered?
Yeah, it's like, here's the thing. Here's the cover that I was basing this off of.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of like this. That's where I got a lot of the inspiration, which is like Wonder Woman from Future State.
I like it.
Yeah. So the plan is I'm writing it now. I'm like 10 pages in on the script, and it'll be available probably on Indiegogo, I would say, and I'll have some nice bonus items like trading cards and stuff available for you guys.
I gotta get you on my show then.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not launching the campaign until I have like a significant like part of it done, because
That's
I want to.
What you should do. That's what you should be, because honestly, nowadays we've had too many people launch it with like nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
People are wearing. You are doing the smart thing, bro.
Plus,
okay?
I don't want to be rushed to finish it. When this is done, I want it to be a product that the readers deserve.
Exactly. Respecting your audience and you're respecting your readers' time. Okay, you are doing what you should be doing. So I'm proud of you, brother.
And by the way, yeah. So there will, and then at the end of it, I will. At the end of the story, there will be an omnibus, like an actual omnibus length of every issue, and maybe all of the origin issues put into one massive book, if I can.
But will there be an omnibus on the bus?
Yeah, exactly. And then for the collected edition, we'll have like variant sketches and character designs and stuff. But yeah, it's going to be a really cool thing. There's going to be tons of bonuses for you guys to enjoy. Like, again, trading cards, art prints, maybe even a couple of special streams. Oh, speaking of fan comics, I just did a video on a fan again, John Kent. There you go. Told you, Super Sons. So, and yes, like I said before, a lot of my friends are going to, a lot of my comic book writing friends are going to be able to write, basically write a story in my universe, which is like they can write an origin for one of the Justice Leaguers or the villain. I already have someone writing the villain. So the team is currently myself, Dawson, and a friend of mine that actually, because this is basically taking a story that I had like all written and then redoing it into a superhero story, because before it was a military novel. I redid it as a superhero story, so I don't have to worry about accuracy. And I'm like, okay, there you go.
Yep.
So once again, I'll have more like stuff to talk about later, and then I'll have Dawson on to talk about the art on the project. But yeah, it's gonna be really fun. And if you guys have any ideas, you can DM me on Twitter. And and once again, it's not gonna. I'm not gonna launch the campaign probably until the script is like practically almost done, just so I have time to like adjust things. And
If I may suggest, I would wait until you at least have like 1 or 2 completed pages, because your campaign will be a lot more successful if you have at least a few completed pages on the campaign to show people how far along you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm strongly suggesting you wait till you have at least one, at the very least one finished page. That means like pencils, inks, colors, and lettering. Have it all done. At least one page. More pages are better, but at least one. That's my suggestion for it.
Exactly. I'm going to do that because I again, and this is going to be, and by the way, for the genre of the book, if you guys have been complaining, here's my sales pitch. If you guys know that we've been complaining about how less than ideal DC writing has been, and this is a heavy DC inspired book. We've been complaining for a long time about what DC does. I'm going to show you what DC should do. This is going to be inspired by the continuities that I'm using a lot for inspiration is post-crisis / New 52. In other words, I'm taking the good parts of the New 52 and all of post-crisis, because that stuff was fantastic, and taking inspiration from there. And a lot of the origin is going to be the Superman. A lot of the inspiration is the Superman Wonder Woman series from the New 52. And a lot of Grant Morrison's JLA run. That's basically what I'm taking a lot of my inspiration in terms of the scale and grandeur of the book. And obviously, once again, Nick, you're more than welcome to help with the project and maybe write an issue or 2 of my anthology.
I would be honored to be involved.
Yes, exactly. So on that note, also, Nick has a comic that he wants to put out there. I'm just going to share screen, and then we can go on to that. It's all right, you're on deck, Nick.
So this is Screecher. And it's my newest comic. It's also a DC-inspired book. This one's kind of Batman-ish, and I'm trying to evoke certain, kind of like the '90s Young Justice run.
Hey, that's great.
And then I'm also doing Nightwing from the '90s. Like the Chuck Dixon era and whatnot.
By the way, speaking of Chuck Dixon, if you guys are interested, we interviewed Chuck Dixon on this channel.
Yeah. So do you mind if I play the trailer?
Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Avery Fletcher. After 7 years away, I have come home with only one goal: to save my father. But to do that, I can't be the woman I once was. To honor my father's legacy, I must become someone else. I must become something else. I must become Screecher.
I'm so jazzed up.
So I'll be going live October 7th, like you said. And right now I'm trying to get signups, trying to get as many people to sign up as possible. So
I'll put the link in the chat real quick.
Do you have the link?
I can get it, or if you want to put in the private chat, I can put it in there.
Just did that, brother.
Yeah, okay, I got it.
So to kind of give you a peek on the back end, I am at 69.
You had to do it.
Nice. So, does anyone want to be number 70 today? Does anyone want to revoke my overused meme
Yes,
status?
please, someone back it.
Please, well, no, not backing it.
I mean, someone sign up. Someone sign up to get that to 70, so we don't have to hear this anymore.
Nice, all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyone who signs up, they will get a wallpaper. This is kind of a preview of it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's some stuff from the comic. And then anyone who signs up and then they go to back the project, they'll get 3 free ebooks. They'll get Project Access #1, and then Torn Samurais issue 1 and 2. They'll get those for free when they go and back the project. So the wallpaper everyone gets for free, but those people who sign up and then go back the project will get the free ebooks.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, just check that out.
Yeah, and then it comes out October 7th, and we will be doing a launch stream live on this channel.
Yes, we will.
Yeah. So kind of expect us to kind of be more heavily promoting that, like probably starting within the next week or so. I got to talk with them about details on that, but yeah,
should be fun. And I want this launch to be huge, people. I want this to be a huge launch. Huge. Yes, I want that. So just make sure.
So all of our super sons, please show up and consider back in the project.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Back it for Damien and John.
Yes.
Yeah, and in terms of my project, again, campaign's not going to go up until it's almost done because I want to be able to put a lot into this, and then let me put it this way, but I will be, as I get more stuff back, I will be providing regular updates and stuff, and I'm going to talk to Nick about like what type of bonuses I could offer you guys in term for the campaign and stuff. So it should be really fun. There will be plenty of goodies and merch.
Yeah.
So hope you guys enjoyed this stream. We're certainly fun talking about Sucker Punch. Next week we're talking about Watchmen. So we'll be talking about more slow motion, but we'll be returning to DC.
Remember, you're not locked in. I'm not locked in jail with you. You're locked.
You're locked in the jail with me. I'm getting that as a drop. That has to be a drop.
Please.
Nick, it was a pleasure having you on, and you know what? I'm gonna play your clip again.
I am Phoenix.
That is so good. You did that so well.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Thank you. I'm so good. I've gotten really good with Final Cut.
I like how you got the logo to come in just as she's saying Phoenix.
Yeah, exactly.
You framed it well enough so where it's
between her arms. It's like she's hugging your logo. So on that note,
her fiery embrace.
Yeah, I will see you guys in the next stream, and stay at work, everyone. Bye-bye.